Do you like my pajamas?
I do. They have chickens on them.
Do you like that I'm wearing pajamas at 4:45
Yeah, that's the move.
p.m.?
I mean, you just got home from work, and the
Yeah.
natural move to get home
Also,
when
it's
you get home
rainy
from work.
today, so
Yeah.
I think, like, honestly, why'd you get dressed today?
Look good, feel good.
Yeah, but it's your day off. I'm all
Yeah.
for stay in the PJs and feel
Yeah,
good.
but then I would have done absolutely nothing if I did that. And I had a little bit of stuff I
Mm.
wanted to do today.
Yeah,
So,
like wash the sheets
yeah, and like do stuff in the garden and stuff like that.
and
But
wash the sheets.
yes, but actually I didn't do. But
It's okay, the day's not over.
no.
I just like giving you grief.
Oh, of course. That's what you
So,
always do.
Merlin's still been going under, right? In the cellar?
Yeah, just at night. He
Yeah.
gets on top of the run at night, but he mingles around there and he's fine. The big one doesn't want to kill him anymore, but Merlin's still afraid of him. So
Yeah.
that's where we're at. But I did a lot in the garden today. Not a lot, but like most of my focus was on that.
Mhm.
A little worried about. I talked about this a couple weeks ago, and I think it's pretty apparent now. I think those onions that I transplanted have transplant shock because I was looking at them today, and they're still green. They still look alive. They don't look great,
Mhm.
but they look alive. But they haven't grown at all since I put them in the ground, like 2 weeks ago, maybe.
'Cause he manhandled them.
Well, that's initially what I thought. I thought
Oh.
like I was too rough with them, but then I started researching a little bit, and I just like found some YouTube videos about transplanting onions
Mhm.
because from what I understand, starting onions indoor is like the common way to do it. So I watched a couple videos, and something that I noted in the videos is all of the onions that they were transplanting were way bigger than the ones that I did. So I
Oh.
think I transplanted them just too early, and that's what caused the shock. Because also, both the videos that I watched, the people like I forget what I didn't even look at the names of the videos.
Mm.
It was a very quick like Google and video just to get the answer. But I both of the videos that I watched, the people expressed how like resilient the onions are
Mhm.
to handling because they typically
Mm.
start in clusters like that and then like just the root systems don't get tangled up. But both of them express that they're pretty resilient to handling. So I was like I was like especially where the onions haven't died yet. I was like I don't think it was me handling them too hard
Yeah, it
that
was
caused
probably
the
just
transplant shock.
not long enough.
Yep. So I think that was probably it. I probably should have kept him in here for another 2 weeks and then transplanted him this weekend. It's probably what I should have done. But just to remedy it as well, I also hand sowed a bunch of seeds out there today. Not a
Mhm.
bunch, probably like 10. And I'm going to see if those sprout up and grow. Because if those sprout, grow, and surpass the ones that are in transplant shock, because it's going to take time for them,
Mhm.
if they don't die, to like get out of that phase. Um, then I'll know for next season just directly sow them. Don't even bother starting them inside. Because if they're going to get transplant shock, and
It's gonna stunt the
yeah, it's
growth
gonna
anyway.
stunt them to where I could have just started them outside and they would have been healthier
But what
anyway.
if you started them earlier inside and waited for them to get bigger and then transplanted them?
Yeah, I guess that'll have to be the test for next season then,
Yeah.
because yeah, that's basically what I kind of figured out is
Gathered.
I definitely didn't. I probably should have left him in here for about 2 more weeks, let him get a little bit more size to him.
Huh.
So, but hopefully they take now. Other than the onions, I also have the beets out there. And I was worried about the beets because I planted like 200 beets the other week and, different varieties.
Yeah, sugar
But
beets and normal beets.
they haven't sprouted yet. So
Mhm.
I was like, I was like, is the soil fucked up? Like, are they all not going to sprout? Little do I know, I read into it a little bit. It takes about 3 weeks for them to sprout anyway. And not only that, they will sprout slower in if it's on like the lower end of its temperature range. So
Mm.
like all plants have like a temperature range in
Yes.
which they thrive in. I know you understand, but I'm explaining for
Yeah,
like
no, I'm just
yeah.
commenting back.
So they have like a temperature range in which they thrive in. If you're on the lower end of that temperature range, usually the plant develops slower. So I was looking at the temperature range for beets, and the temperature outdoors has been on the lower end of its temperature range. They are a cold weather plant, but it has been like pretty consistently like in the low 40s at night and like 50s during the day. So it is expected that they're germinating slowly. I don't know, but I also was kind of spazzing a little too early because I did just go out there right before we got on here to record, and I did like find a couple sproutlings on the ground. So they should be making their way. A couple more days, maybe even another week, like they'll all be sprouted, and I'll actually be able to see like where they're at.
Hmm.
But yeah, so that's what I did in the garden today. I planted wheat too. And then yeah, what have you been up to?
Working
Working
at the pool.
at the pool, buying chicken pajamas. I see.
Yeah, a while ago. Took
Yeah.
a while. They're on the TikTok shop.
Oh, classic TikTok shop. Yep. Is your TikTok just full of chickens?
Yeah.
Yeah. I imagine if they're getting chicken pajamas
Chickens,
recommended to
second date updates, how to catch a cheater, and Minecraft builds.
you. Damn.
That's basically
That's
my feed.
That's a strong woman feed right there, dude. You are a strong woman of second date update and Minecraft builds. I don't know. I'm just fucking talking shit. I don't know what I'm talking. I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I mean, I haven't really done too much because, like, around here, just because this past week it's been, like, I think by the time I'm done tomorrow, 60 hours.
Oh, yeah.
It's been a rough week, which leaves little time to
brainstorm projects for me to do.
For you to do, yeah. Yeah, and the ones I've brainstormed haven't happened yet, so...
And what are those projects,
Where's
Erica?
my new chicken coop?
True. That is true.
I can tell you where it is. Taxes fucked us this year.
Yeah, it's our...
Taxes bent us over the counter and fucked us.
Yes, the government owns our new chicken coop. At least in theory,
Yeah, we're gonna have to wait a minute for coop build.
Yeah.
Also, we wanted to go to Breaking Benjamin in 3 Days Grace.
Yep. Couple comedy shows, Sam Talent.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
set for a fun summer.
Yes, we are. But we definitely just
gotta buckle down.
we gotta prioritize the
I think we forget we're peasants.
Yeah.
We definitely forget. We get comfortable and we're like, oh, easy breezy, and the tax season came, bent us over, and fucked us.
Yep. The fucking...
So pissed about it.
The Manor Lord came and took all his... I don't know where I was going with that.
And we're one of the ones that are fortunate because we have the VA loan. And the VA loan just builds your property tax right into your mortgage.
Yeah.
So that we pay throughout the year, because property taxes out here are insane.
Yeah, they are.
No.
Yeah. New England in general, never mind property taxes. New England in general is...
Why'd they throw the T anyways?
Dude, it's
because they're
insane.
The most taxed.
Yeah, they're the most taxed and they have the least amount to show for it. Like, all these, like, if you look at who gets taxed the most, like, top 5, I know Massachusetts is in the top 5. If you at least compare all the other states at least have a little bit to show for it. They might have better roads, decent schools, like, I'm not saying it's going to be perfect everywhere, but in, like, general, in, like, aggregate, Massachusetts is dog shit, man.
Oh, the roads are horrible.
It's like, what are they spending the money on?
The roads that the road your parents live on, they've been working on that, since you were in high school?
Yeah.
And it's no better. It pisses me off. It's like the last and final stretch to your parents' house is this god-awful road that they want you to go 45 miles per hour on.
Yeah.
But if you do, you're going to blow a tire. It's insane. New Hampshire's sneaky. They're like, well, we have no state income tax. But they make up for it. They make up for it with low wages.
Yeah.
And property taxes.
Yeah.
But at least the roads are nice.
Yeah. I work, like, right on the border of Mass and New Hampshire. and I drive a delivery truck, and it's wild. You can tell. There's no sign in some of these areas where you cross the border, but you know because the road goes from like just
Pristine to like shit.
pristine to just potholes everywhere.
Like
you're
patch,
basically
because that's all Mass does is they just patch the potholes. They don't redo the roads.
yeah.
They just patch so it's all bumpy.
Yeah.
Might as well have left it dirt.
Yeah. And I think the reason that is they do that, and I don't know, I could be talking out my ass here, but from what I understand, it's because the unions down there, they get all the contracts. Like,
Yeah.
it has to be like a union that does the town and like city work.
Mm-hmm.
So they obviously, because they want more work, they don't want the road to last 2 years. They want the road to last 3 months so they get more work, you know? And when they do the work, they take forever to fucking do it because the government's paying for it.
Yeah.
So that's what I think. So, but in
Insane.
New Hampshire, like, they don't have to do that. The town can pick who they want to do the roads. So the paving companies actually are incentivized to do a good job because then the town will come back
Yeah,
to
because
them.
they go out and bid for it
Yeah.
too. So they have to
So-
offer a good price and
Yeah, Massachusetts is fucked up, dude. It is, in my opinion, the most corrupt state.
oh yeah,
in
because I mean
America.
also they tax the shit out of marijuana more than any other state
Yeah.
that has it legal. And where does that go? Because in Colorado you see where it goes.
Yeah, at least Colorado
Like-
told you where it went, and you
well,
could
in
see where it
Colorado
went.
you could go in with $20 and have get a fair amount.
Yeah.
Like you can't do that out here.
No.
Out here they only have you're not walking out of one of those shops under $60.
I mean, I haven't been to one of those shops in a few years.
And I'm sure
that's
with
the way
inflation,
that's the way it
things
was
just-
years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know. It might have stabilized a little bit now that the industry has like been around a little longer. But I don't know. Who knows?
I don't know. I just thought in Colorado it was so smooth, just
Yeah.
because you could go in there with any budget. Like if you only had $20, you still could get a pretty reasonable amount of marijuana without And I'm not a marijuana person. That's not my thing, not my forte.
Yeah. I know. I think
wish-
also a reason that it was so smooth in Colorado is they were the first ones to do it. Them and Washington's were the
Mhm.
first ones to do it. So
Is
everything
Washington
everything
State
that
good?
we're
I've never
yeah.
been there
So everything we're encountering out there is like been established for a long
for
time.
a while. Yeah.
Whereas like when we were out here and we were encountering like the dispensaries out here, that was the year like Mass allowed dispensaries.
Yeah.
So it's
that's
like-
true.
Yeah, we were dealing with like I guess a more established system
Yeah.
than we initially were out here. But I don't know, man. Who knows? It's weird.
Definitely should have probably paused the laundry for this. I wonder if it's gonna pick up in our mics.
Probably. I don't
Hopefully
know.
not bad. Maybe just the tune.
Yeah, probably just a
Mhm.
tune. Yeah, I don't think it'll be too bad. And edit out the background noise if I need to.
But yeah, we're a little sidetracked from our theme, I
Yeah,
guess.
who
But
cares?
taxes got me heated, man.
Dude, taxes get me heated too.
I think
Especially
they-
around
I
here.
think they get everyone heated.
I don't know. Living in Colorado though, that was because I have somebody I work with who just recently got transferred over to Colorado, and I've heard people said that this person's kind of been, he's a higher up person, but he's been complaining about how expensive it is in Colorado, and I'm like, I've lived in both places now, and I'm like, it's the same as here. I was like, it's really
just
not
shows
any different.
differently.
Yeah. I think when you initially arrive, you see the rent and the house prices, and you're like, oh my god, it's so expensive out here. But then you quickly realize that gas and food and electricity and all the utilities is way cheaper out there. So it's at the end of the day, it's about the same amount, but it seems like it's more expensive.
Well, and the property taxes are
face.
still one of the lowest.
yeah. Your taxes aren't bad out there
Yeah.
either.
Well, and you know where yours are going. Man, the parks and recreation out in Colorado is way ahead of anyone else.
Yeah.
Any other state, I guarantee Colorado has them beat in parks and recreation.
Yeah.
And because I work in the field, so obviously I know a little bit and where it's busy and where it's not, and here it's not. It's really hard to find a job in parks and rec out here.
Yeah.
especially like, my field, which is aquatics, like pools and swim lessons and that kind of stuff. Whereas like in Colorado, like every city has a rec center, and every rec center has a track, community rooms, a senior center, a pool, parks and trails, baseball fields, softball fields, and then they've got like 10 full-time employees for each department. It's insane out there.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's a taxed thing. But like, man, the trails are so pretty out there.
Yeah. But I mean, at least you can see where the tax dollars are going.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I'd rather have all of that stuff than, like, be in the position I'm in now. Like, what are they doing with my money? I have no idea.
Yeah.
Because it's clearly not going to anything that benefits me.
No.
You know?
Yeah, no idea.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I thought it was cool we got to come out on one of our podcast episodes.
Yeah, me too.
Was
Happy about it.
What did you think about the trading, the barter thing? Because I
That was an
actually
interesting
hadn't
take. I like
considered
that.
it, because at first it's chaos, so you don't think of like
Yeah.
trading and bartering, but then eventually you're gonna need something to
Yeah.
trade and barter.
Well, also, too, I think I'm always thinking in, like, the chaos sense. I think the reason I never thought about, like, the trading and bartering, like, idea, if you were to be, like, nomadic in that kind of world, is, this is going to sound very dark, but I think that's where my mind goes immediately, is I was like, why would I trade when I can take? You know?
But eventually the chaos settles.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's going to be a point where you're like, okay, I don't need to take anymore. Like, let's see how we can work this out.
Yeah. True.
Because there's going to be a point. I mean, I guess you're always going to have the people who are going to try and take, just like you do in a normal world.
But yeah, you're right. It is, as civilization starts to reestablish itself, that would be one of the first things that happens. It's like barter systems and trading would have to start again. Which makes me wonder, like, so, like, what would we trade? What would we trade in a barter system? Food or water is probably the two biggest things that I would think of, because it would have to be something you'd need.
Yeah, but everyone can't be trading food and water, so what do you accept if you're giving out food and water? Because you're not usually trading food for food.
Could do. And
more like seeds.
Yeah. Have you ever played DayZ?
Like forever ago.
Yeah, so DayZ is, like, for those who don't know, it's like a zombie apocalypse, like, survival computer game. It's pretty fun. But in that game, in some servers, it's not all the time, marijuana is the money. Marijuana is money. So that's what you trade for stuff, like nugs of marijuana. And it was like, oh yeah, actually, I bet that actually would work pretty well as, like, a currency, because I think most people would be like, yeah, fine, I'll take it. Because at the very least, you could probably trade it for something.
Yeah, but again, we're nomadic. We can't grow marijuana.
Yeah, but you could probably haul quite a bit of it around. You know? You could probably, I don't know. That's all I was thinking.
No.
Like,
I don't know. Thinking about this just makes me want to be like, oh, actually, I think I'd stay put. I think I'd stay put, and I'd try and, like, secure some sort of livestock.
Yeah, but also, too, I think we also talked about this last time as well. Being nomadic during the chaos, I think, is the right move. Eventually, once you know where, like, a safe place is, that's when you need to start reestablishing to stay put. Because, like, once so I guess like, in an apocalyptic scenario, once you're kind of at the tail end of the chaos and society starts to reestablish itself to the point where a barter system is now in place, that's probably would be your signal to, like, hey, settle down. You don't have to be a nomad anymore.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know. That's all I'm thinking. Because I think,
we just need to get 2 meat rabbits.
Meat rabbits?
That can breed, you know?
Yeah.
And that way, even when we're nomadic, you can just keep all of them in a carrier, feed them, and then we trade meat rabbits.
Yeah, do that.
That's pretty intricate.
Yeah. I have been watching.
I swear, they're good eating. They're just inbred.
I have been watching videos on YouTube about people who raise rabbits for meat.
I know, and you were talking about it, and now it's in my feed.
because I've been like, I was watching it, and apparently, as far as meat goes, it's better for chickens because they're easier to feed than chickens, and they grow faster. And it's, I don't know, I guess
they breed faster too.
Yeah.
I mean, they can get
breed like
pregnant
crazy.
multiple times a year.
Yeah, and then it's like ready to be harvested. I think pretty quickly, like in a couple months. But yeah, I think they just eat vegetables. So I think that would be like an easy way to like, because you know how we've talked about before, like how hard it would be to actually like provide food for the chickens and
Yeah, it
have a
would.
self-sustaining chicken coop. You could probably have self-sustaining rabbit hutches because
Yeah.
you could arguably grow all their food. But I mean, it would just be a matter of like scale. I imagine you'd probably need a lot of like excess vegetables in order to feed all those guys to a point where they're happy and they're breeding.
Yeah. Do you think it matters if they like, because if they're all going to be siblings if you only have two?
Well, it would have to be, you'd have to have your breeding pair, and then you'd have to eat all the kids, or have like.
But then what
Yeah.
happens when your breeding pair gets old?
Yeah.
And they kick the bucket.
So I guess maybe you'd have to have
Like
a
two
variety.
breeding
You'd have to have a
pairs? Yeah.
variety of them, maybe like 6.
Yeah.
You know, that way you can mix and match the genetics a little bit, and yeah, that would be wild.
Bunnies are cute, so it's hard to imagine it. But yeah, I've seen it before.
Yeah, that is because I have a hard time killing chickens. Like I've done it before, but I have a hard time doing it.
Bunnies are soft.
Yeah,
and cute.
Bunnies
and
would
they're
be hard to
usually
kill.
Cuddly.
Yeah, they would be harder to kill for at least me anyway.
I mean, I think if you do something like that, like just treat your animals good.
Yeah.
Just even if you know they're for meat, give them the best life. Give them hugs. Yeah, it's gonna suck for you, but
yeah,
I would still like, you know.
Well, it's kind of an interesting way to like think about it too. We've kind of like disconnected because if you buy meat from the store, like that was still an animal, it was still alive one day. You know, you just disconnected yourself from the hard part, and that's like nice that you get to do that. But it's like, I don't know, and I mean, I'm not a huge like vegetarian guy or like animal rights guy. Like, of course, I believe you should treat animals nice, but.
Well, and I don't like those big like farms that just keep them locked inside, and like I see all the sad videos of pigs seeing the outside for the first time.
Yeah, pigs is a tough one. Like I've debated not eating pork anymore because pigs are a little too smart for me. Like I've seen some bad videos too of like pigs at slaughterhouses, and they know like where they're at, what's happening. Like they freak out and stuff, and I'm like, all right, I think that thing's a little too smart for us to be farming it for meat.
Yeah, it'd be like eating dolphins.
Because they're as smart as dogs, you know, and like we don't eat dogs.
Smarter than dogs, I'm pretty sure.
Well, but it's like
we don't eat dogs.
Yeah, so I have thought about that because also I don't really like pork too much, and like I could take or leave bacon. I don't have bacon that often. For me
we don't. Well, because it's expensive and it's a pain in the ass to cook.
Yeah. But yeah, I've definitely thought about that, but I know.
Look at our hog.
She's being pathetic.
She's being super pathetic. Is she pouting because she's not on the couch?
No, she's dreaming. Oh, she's awake now.
No, she's not. So cute.
Back to sleep. Yeah.
She's like laying on the hard floor and acting like her life is so hard.
Mm-hmm.
Probably because she knows the last time we recorded one of these, her dad said he would eat her.
I did say that last time.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Rosie. It's true, though.
It's true, but you'd make good feeding.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's like that muscular, stocky.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't like seeing animals mistreated in any context. But yeah, that's a good point you bring up. Pigs are smart.
Yeah.
Really smart. Like, smarter than dogs most of the time. So that is kind of sad. Well, and
I don't like pork. And I don't like pork enough for me to like not give that up. So part of me is like, maybe I should give that one up.
There's also something about their like cleanliness too. There's a lot of like There's a couple religions that won't eat pork.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they might be right on that.
Yeah, I think they might be right on that. Yeah. So we're cutting out pork.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't eat it
I don't
often.
eat it. I don't eat
anyways,
it much anyway.
yeah.
So.
I think once in a blue moon, when Omaha has like a deal, Omaha Steakhouse, I'll buy like whatever their $129 deal is, and usually there's a couple pork steaks in there. But
I think my mom will eat it or something.
yeah.
But
well, you can mix and match things too. Like
nice.
there, yeah. You like if it says pork, you can be like, oh, can I sub this in instead? Like,
that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. Omaha's for grocery store prices out here. I actually think we save money using Omaha Steakhouses.
Yeah, probably.
Go Omaha.
Yes.
Omaha.
All right, I'm calling it, dude.
Because it keeps fucking up.